the reason why the Europe is the way it is right now is because they're always improving. They're always building something new. They're always moving. But Africa is not really like that. Africa, there's a certain number of people that want it the way it was 90s in 1940s, technology wise.
Well, not only technology, it's all across. It's all across the board. That is why we see Tinubu coming to say, "I will give you a wa, I will give you a dodo," because that is the way it has always been. If you now imagine Obama coming to campaign for election, he will tell the people, "I will give you a McDonald's." Are you crazy?
I'll give him McDonald's. I'll give him.
Tinubu is telling Nigerian people, vote for me. I will give you dodo. That is the mentality. It's a backward mentality. Now, the thing is that the people of this generation, the people of the new generation, when they look at that kind of mentality, it looks sickening. Because we are looking for a way that our leaders could be flying, not the one that will be carrying on wheelchair. Because that doesn't fit into our mentality anymore. It shouldn't fit in. So I return back to what I was saying before, that it is important that we need to take some time to go away from the bubble and refine who we are. It is absolutely important. So loneliness in this sense can be useful. Being able to identify that, yes, first of all, we are a group. But before we become part of a group, we are also individual. It is true. It is not just a philosophy. So that your individuality, what do you intend to do with it? Because if at a level of individual you cannot serve yourself, then you are only a body when you become part of the group, because the group will be carrying 100%. You on their shoulder.
100%.
But if you are 100%. Useful now, say maybe you are very useful as an individual, then you come to a group, then you are useful to the group. If everybody in the group are very useful because they are so refined in their own different field, then the group will be moving forward. Otherwise, it becomes like a stagnant water, a water okay, you know Lagos. Okay, you are in Lagos now. You see there are some places in Lagos, there is water there, but the water is not flowing, it's not moving. It's so dirty, you can even see algae inside the water. This is inside the city. That is an embodiment of the Nigerian society. That is how it has become.
100%.
Because we believe that it must be the way it has always been. But we can't move on if it is always the way it has always been. If somebody were thinking with a new way of thinking, this is not a European thinking, this is not Western thinking. It's just a new way of thinking. Somebody could ask the question, this water needs to flow. Why is it not flowing? Because nobody is asking the question. Because if you don't ask the question, you don't get the answer. Like I was saying before, everything according to the African philosophy and spirituality is already there. All the knowledge is there. Everything is possible. But you need to ask the right question. What do you want? Because until you ask the question, if you ask foolish question, then you get foolish answer. All right, let's go back to you again. Because I like the way that you are tickling with technology. Now, help us understand. How did you learn how to tap into technology like this and able to move around? The reason I'm asking the question is that those that are listening to us, they might also like to do what you have done. And the reason we exist at all as a podcast is to share knowledge so that other people can learn. So help me with that.
How? Okay. Okay. To ask me how I think that's a difficult question, but I'm going to try my best to answer. The way I personally see technology, it goes back to how I started this conversation to, I'm a let me just talk about what I'm working on now, like as a community and the community we're working on, where I think we said this before, gamification of education, and how that ties into the idea of metaverse or quantum computing and those sort of things. Now, I see technology, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I want to show you the creativity first. For me, technology it's more about intertwining who I am as as a person and try to express myself, because I can only be myself very well. That's the best thing I can do. That's the only thing I can be the best at, is to be myself. Like if I try to be something else or someone else or try to compete, I'm most likely going to lose in everything. I'm not trying to say I'm weighing down myself down, etc. But the best thing that each and every single one of us can do best is that we can be ourselves the best. And no one, if anyone is trying to compete with us at being ourselves, the person have lost even before competing. So now the way I see technology for me is more of like not technology today. Actually, the more I see, let's start with programming, because that's what I'm going to start. The way I see programming is like English language and writing novel. So you have a story to tell, and usually, okay, some stories do not have a problem they solve, but there's some stories that there are problems around that you're meant to look at, and you're meant to look at how you can solve this problem and make the world easy for
Sorry, there
other
is there
people.
is
That is
noise.
everything.
There is somebody crying there.
Crying. Yeah, there's a kid in my there's a sorry. Give me a second.
Okay.
All right. So now now the way I say it is more of like you make to solve. I think we're here to solve one another's problem, and if we can be the solution, we are sorry. If we can, we are the solutions to one another's problems. So, and I'm thinking from that perspective, technology comes in for you to express that solution that you are. That is where I see it. And now software programming allows you to become just like a writer doing that. I mean, you write a program, meaning you write a software which becomes a solution to someone's problem. So, and this comes from me before I start to think about how advanced the technology is, how cool the technology is, how whatever it is. So I just see it as a creative process of write a story and make sure that whatever story you're writing is a solution to someone's problem. That goes back to the beginning of our of our conversation, talking about the good and the bad side of technology. That I said it does depend on who is building the tool, because the same solutions the same thing that is a solution to other people's problem can also be used as a weapon. Technology comes into it's like a two-edged sword. All technologies are like that. All techs are like I know come with two-edged sword. So for me, I just think you should just find yourself as a creative person first. You should just find your own core purpose first before you then pick up technology to use as a tool to express more of who you currently are. And that's the way I see it. And for me, what has helped me more is also because I'm a scientist. I have a scientific background. I love mathematics. I love mathematics. I love physics. I love these things. So, and me coming to technology is me coming to express that. Me coming to express the way I see the world from a mathematical standpoint, and the way I analyze the world from a physical or scientific standpoint, and then solving and then applying that in solutions, in solving problems, real life problems with technology, basically. So then, if people want to really understand do technology, then they should pick some mathematics if you want, but you can literally do technology just purely from a creative perspective without mathematics at all as well. You can go into gaming. Gaming requires some mathematics as well, but you can also go into um, if you want to write code, there are different ways you can write the code too. If you just if you are if you're a creative mind as well, like so, I think it's a personal thing. If you want, I think learning technology is very personal. It's like you know like the reason why I say it's personal is also because a scientist approach to learning tech and wielding the tool is be different from an artistic approach, from an artist approach of learning tech and reading it through. The only thing they have in common is that the two is a language. It's like English. It's basically like the language of English. Like you learn English, and you can use English for business. You can use English for um, writing novels, for whatever it is that you want to, for scientific processes, for whatever it is that you're doing. But the way you learn it as an English major is different from the way you will learn it as a physics major or or mathematics major. The emphasis, what we put emphasis on, in this different perspective of life is going to be different.